Good evening, all. Hope you're all well. Tonight, welcome to round 5 of the CXR Euro GT3 League Championship. Tonight, we're at Catalonia GP circuit in sunny Spain. And tonight, I have Phil and Ruben with me, with Neil and Aaron in race control. So, good evening, guys. Hope you're all well.
Evening, Mark.
Evening.
And Ruben.
All good. Just trying to survive the heat.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hot one. I'm kind of forgetting to do things like the music that I would normally play in the background and everything here.
No, Phil. The heat for you isn't an excuse. You've got AC running.
Well, yeah, I wasn't going to say that I'm sat here wearing a hoodie, but I will do now anyway. So it is a hot and sweaty one for everybody but me. But that doesn't... Well, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, I'm sat here nice and cool, but yeah, you guys are going to suffer in the heat.
I'm okay. I've got my feet in a bucket of water, so I'll be all right.
I mean, to be honest, you probably got to feel sorry more for the guys that are sat there in their VR headsets and everything.
Yeah,
especially the VR headsets.
We shall see that on Sweatcam later, no doubt.
We shall do.
So, speaking of Sweatcam, who have we got tonight?
We have on Sweatcam, we got Chris Needham, Kieran Smart, and Duncan Kirby all on Sweatcam. Let's bring them up now. Two on VR, and I see Kieran there in the middle, not on VR, looking a little bit cooler. Probably still a little bit warm though.
He looks the same every week, doesn't he? There's no like expression. Is that the same T-shirt as wearing last week?
I don't know. I just think he's really focused on just trying to get the best qualifying in, while we saw one of the flat-out SimSport drivers going off track at the last turn, just as he wanted to start his first flying lap. So that's not the way you want to start qualifying.
I'm just having a quick flick through the championship standings as they are at the moment. And Morgan Thompson's our current leader with half the season finished on 95 points. And then we've got an 8-point gap between second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And that's Yellow Peter Hoogland, Billy Fletcher, Kieran Smart, Ben Johnson, Adam Southgate. So it's all up for grabs.
It is, but unfortunately we don't have Yellow Peter Hoogland actually here for...
What?
Well, he wasn't here for last week, and he's not here this week. He won't be here next week either, which I did know before the championship started, but kind of forgotten.
He hasn't
That's
got a
where
prison
he
or
is.
something, is he?
Billy Fletcher is currently scrapping a car and unfortunately can't get back in time. We may see him. We may see him appear in qualifying. If he does, then he's obviously managed to get back in time. But if not, he'll be back with us again next week.
I think it's just an excuse for Billy to not race in this heat, which I can't blame him for it, but...
Okay, so potentially it could be Kieran, Ben and Adam then leapfrogging the other two then if they're not racing. But I know Billy said he was going to try and get back, didn't he? So we'll keep an eye on that. I didn't realise Yellow Peter Hoogland was not racing tonight or next week.
Yeah, I kind of remembered before that he did send me a message before the season started. I think he's on holiday, so...
What?
Evening, Adrian Pixel.
Good evening. And good evening, Vulcan Sim as well. By the way, in the meantime, William Chadwick straight away with a pretty serious qualifying lap of a 1:45.1. And looking to the practice times, I think he was the quickest as well with a 1:44.5. So just for one of his first flying laps to immediately put in a 1:45.1 is quite good, quite quick.
Adam Southgate moving into 5 with a 1:46.1. Forward with Dan Carpenter going around the final chicane. In the standings.
So is it a twilight race tonight then?
This session started at 6, I believe it was. Or...
It's now exactly 8 o'clock. It's now exactly 8 o'clock. So I think near the end of the race we will see the sun setting again. Just probably a little bit the same as the race at the Nürburgring GP, which we had for round 3. So track temp is only 22 degrees, so it's
I was going to say, it's a bit
not that
cool.
hot. Yeah, I mean we've seen different temperatures at this track, like 45. So I think the boys will be happy that that it's a lower temp.
It's just a shame they can't feel it through the sim.
Well,
Yeah,
you say
exactly.
that, it's probably a damn sight hotter. It probably does feel like 45.
That is true.
Yeah.
Needham moves into P7.
Morgan Thompson currently on pole with 144.9.
Great lap there by Morgan.
William Chadwick responds by coming straight back out.
Yeah, I
Matthew
think
Hodges goes up into third as well, just looking through the runners and riders.
I think what the most people will try and do, for what I've seen in chat as well, is that they felt like the third lap was sort of the quickest lap coming out of the pit. So I reckon you'll see, especially when we got 25 minutes of qualifying, that people will jump into the pits after, say, 3 to 4 laps, depending on if they set a good lap, and just jump out and do another run and just
Do they
try
get
to
fresh
improve.
rubber then, if you're doing that?
Yeah.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, so the first lap probably will feel a little bit slidey due to the colder temperatures from the tires. Second lap will be a little bit better, but from what I've read, I've not driven it myself so far, so not quite sure, but from what I've read, it's seemed to come together in lap 3, so I reckon that's the reason why William Chadwick as well as Matthew Hodges are coming out of the pit.
Matthew Dambreen himself, no, he doesn't actually. I thought he just crossed the line and gone higher up. But I think that they're in smart with a 145.7.
Still Matthew Hodges in P3 though. I reckon we will see some people jump up the rankings though, but Matthew Hodges currently with the third time overall, so...
I believe he's just got some new pedals.
Right.
Which clearly seem to be working for him.
But wasn't that John Trester as well? Or was that Ollie Marder, one of the two?
I think everyone's started buying new gear these past few weeks, so... Could see these lap times tumbling by round 8.
Doing their bit for the economy, obviously. So we've got the brothers Johnsons currently sitting in 4th and 5th. So 1 lap wonder Josh will no doubt be in the mix. Well, for
Duncan
the first
Kirby.
lap anyway.
Wow, that's a bit unfair.
He jinxed himself a little bit in chat earlier today. I would have to check, but he said something about the first lap. So
Yeah, he's going to try and make it three of the spin. No pun intended.
yeah, oh yeah, he said time to crash lap 1 again.
Dan
He's
Carpenter
got
moves
pace,
into
it's
P12.
just a bit of consistency, I suppose. So what we said before, wasn't it?
And Phil, do we see a new name on P15, Gonzalo Perez?
No, Gonzalo was in round 1, but unfortunately wasn't able to make any of the rounds after then. So we're back.
Right.
Welcome him back for round 5.
Yeah, welcome back, Gonzalo.
So we still got Jez White and Daniel Merchant yet to put in a lap. Hopefully, I know Dan did message me before and just said that he was having some thunderstorms in the area. So if he does disappear at some point, although that's not going to be, he's got out of the way there. I was just wondering whether he was going to hold on track there for a second, but we are all good.
And in the meantime, we saw Yuri Pepijn-Evers in the only Audi R8 jumping into P15. And I think that's Dominic Verster putting himself in P10. Kenneth Andresen in P11. Only 0.02 of a second. Wow. He just puts himself in a gap of 0.03 of a second between Dominic and Chris Needham. So that's well done by Kenneth.
Yeah, it's all mighty close at the front. Let's just have a look at the gap from P1 to P25. David Patterson currently 8 seconds off pace, but I'm sure he'll be improving that before the end of qualifying. Jonas Gillis 4 seconds off pace, and Kieran Williams 3.4 off pace. What we're looking at on the top 10. So top 10 are just split by 1 second, yeah.
And then from P10 to P20 is another second. So you can call it close. Nice.
We got some Jason Hallington fans in the chat.
Oh, there we've got Peter. I reckon that's the Peter who can race tonight.
Oh, it is. I think it is. No one currently on a faster lap at the moment. Everyone putting in slower sector times than previous. Although Duncan Kirby has done, what is that, 3 or 2 sectors faster than his previous lap. So currently starting P4, could move up into maybe P3, P2. He got the pace to put it on pole.
Seemed like reasonably good, good chicane. So let's see what he's gonna do.
Lost all his sector time in the 3rd sector there. Or his lap
That's a
time in the
shame.
3rd sector. Yeah.
Still 4th.
William Chadwick's put in a faster sector 1 but slower sector 2.
Although a slower sector 2 could mean that he's only 1/1000th of a second slower than his quickest
exactly.
sector 2. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean that his lap time is gone. So let's see what happens when he comes across the line. And it's still the same, P2. Although it was only 2/100ths of a second slower than his quickest lap. But so far, it's only Morgan Thompson currently in the 144s. William Chadwick with a 145.0. So
Just noticed there's a McLaren lockout in the top 3 there, isn't there?
There sure is, isn't there?
Ah, might be telling us something in the race.
So is Matthew Dambreen going to join the party, make it the top 4? That is the question. Chris Needham puts himself into P5 with a 145.3. Great lap by Chris there.
great lap, great lap.
Top of the Mercs.
Yeah, the ice place Merc. The second one is P20, David Meekin. Yeah, Peter, that's what you get when your portable AC shuts down. You start dying in the game room. I know what you're feeling. As I've said before, I'm very happy to be in the commentator room instead of behind the wheel.
Yeah, I had a race
So
last night.
you gotta
which
give
was...
it to the. You gotta give it to these guys that they're still racing with these kind of temps.
Yeah,
with the
exactly.
VR.
Exactly. I mean, I had a race last night, and even though I did have the aircon on, I was dripping wet after the race. I had sweat on my glasses and everything. It was horrible driving around there.
You were mildly moist, were you?
I was mildly moist, correct. William Chadwick has just done he's done a purple sector 1, slower sector 2 though. Has gone faster in his sector 3. He's dropped. Oh no, I was about to say he's dropped to P3 because Duncan Kirby had overtaken him, but William Chadwick has actually just put himself back over into P2.
144.809, and we have to give it to Jeroen Pepijn Evers in the Audi as well. He said it himself in the chat, but he's currently put in P9.
Yeah, that's a great lap there by Yuri. Have a look at Ollie Marler. He's just coming around the final corner. Put this lap in, faster sector 2 and a faster sector 3, so could be jumping up maybe in the standings 1 place into 21st.
He does.
Minutes left to qualifying, so everyone's still got that time to just nip back to the pits, get those fresh tyres. Obviously you're going to need 3 laps before tyres are going to start to come up to temperature, as Ollie Marler is ripping that Mercedes around this track.
It is quite interesting though, as it somehow this qualifying feels longer than all the qualifying sessions we've done before.
I
don't know why, but think it's just the heat again.
Yeah,
It's
I think it's
messing
the
with
heat.
our heads. Yeah. With the hoodies. Right, Phil? The hoodies.
Yeah,
Is it
exactly.
CXR hoodie then?
I might have to put some jeans on. No,
Put your socks
no,
on as well.
the hoodies actually may be coming soon. I am actually going to start working on some merch and stuff like that, just for anyone who wants to purchase. Obviously, you don't need to.
Oh, yeah.
Do I get one with my name on the back? Customizable option, is it?
I don't think they allow swear words on the back of them.
Oh, Benjamin Johnson puts himself in P4 with a 145.1. So currently the top 3 in the 144s, and the lockout, the 3-car lockout for the McLarens, is now split by 2 BMWs, Duncan Kirby and Benjamin Johnson. Oh, Matthew Dambreen taking not the line that he wanted to. He spun the car, and instead of going through the last turn, he spun the car going into the pit.
Dan Carpenter's on a faster lap at the moment. He is going to move up a few positions, I would imagine. There we go. Moves into P7. The 145.4. Good lap there from Dan.
While in the meantime, in the background, I saw Miles Owens having a pretty hard crash. The same for Gonzalo Perez. So quite a few people are struggling with traction. Morgan Thompson coming into the pit lane, and I see that Billy Fletcher is connected to the session, guys.
He's made it.
He has made it with 10 minutes to spare, though. Can he get that lap time in, though?
Of course he can.
I
Fire
think
the
he
old
can.
bus
I
up.
think
He'll
he
be
can.
alright. You need 5.5 minutes if you hit the ground running. I'll get you 3 laps. Billy.
So at this point, nobody really improving.
As we look over to the chat, we've got reports of some Betty Swallocks.
It is. I'm swimming in my own sweat. Wow. Yuri. Wow.
Perspiring.
A little bit of a slide there by Dominic Furster.
I was just going to stay on board with him, see if he does on this lap. Now he's pulling over to the side. He is not going to continue with this one lap.
Nope, he backed out of the way from Matt Acton, who was on a quicker lap. Oh, he stays in P12.
No, he jumps to P10.
Oh, then I was quite late on that one. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, Miles Owens. So Miles Owens just spun in the last turn, and somebody who was close behind him unfortunately couldn't avoid, and it was a little bit of a touch. I must say I'm surprised in a good way by Chris Needham as well, currently in P6. I mean, we've known Chris Needham for quite some time now, for doing a lot of races with us, driving in the CXR team. But you can definitely see the improvement from Chris Needham, so well done to Chris.
Billy Fletcher is still in the pits, so maybe he's not going to be putting the time in. He's still got 5.5 minutes to put that time in, which I think would be silly not to put the time in, but obviously probably just be getting in his seat, getting everything ready. I know he was rushing to get back for this, so
maybe he wants to do it Zandvoort style, just grabbing that pole position in the last round before the actual end of the qualifying session.
Daniel Merchant, did he move up to P17? I think he was on a faster lap, and I don't think he'd already put in a lap before then. I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, he's showing P17 on my screen as well, so not quite sure if he jumped into P17 or not, but he's set that lap time.
Now, Kieran Smart is currently sat back in P12, which is not on form with his normal position, is it
place.
really? Yeah.
No, he's about 2/10, just over 2/10 off his practice time. So looking at those lap times, well, if it would have put him in P11, so it wouldn't gain him that much, but he just seems to struggle a little bit more on this track.
Just been pushed back into P13 as well, so he's gonna have to look for that better lap, as Duncan Kirby is on a blister at the moment, currently in P3. Can he go any faster? He does. He moves back into P2. He is just 0.008 behind Morgan Thompson, so that is getting mighty close at the front of the grid.
And must be said, it was without any tow, any car, no cars in front, so very, very good lap time there by Duncan Kirby. Must be said that that was his third lap, I think, coming out of the pit. So blistering time by Duncan. We see Daniel Merchant as well on a good lap time, and he puts himself in P15.
Ollie Marlow maybe on a faster lap, a faster middle sector. Dominic Forster as well with a faster sector 1 than his previous lap as well. Cones flying everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about track limits there, if that was just within the track limits or not. And Ollie Marlow jumps up one spot again, puts himself in P21.
Oh, Dominic Forster coming across the line. Didn't go any faster, so still sat in P11. Josh Johnson currently on a slightly faster lap as well. Currently back in P9, which is unlike Josh. Normally you find Josh in the top 5, I would say. Jumping those curbs.
A little bit of damage on the front right of the car, though.
Probably the curbs there, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think just abusing the sausage curbs a little bit too much.
There's only so much there's only so much a suspension can take, I guess.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is Josh likes sausage.
Yeah, but no, well, maybe just takes it a little bit more
Aggressively.
well,
Matthew
just,
Hodges goes into P6,
Yeah,
145.3. Great lap there from Matthew.
great lap. No, maybe he just wants to take it a little bit more easy than the 2 rounds before. As we know, he crashed out in lap 1, being in front of the race and in 2nd place, if I'm correct, at Sanford. So maybe that helps him to settle in the race a little bit more and then just try and find his way through the traffic. So, still, what about 1.5 minutes ago in qualifying? It's still Morgan Thompson in P1, Duncan Kirby in P2, William Chadwick P3, Benjamin Johnson P4, Adam Southgate P5, Matthew Hodges P6, Chris Needham P7, Dan Carpenter P8, and saying that, it's Dominic Forster jumping into P8, puts Dan Carpenter in P9 and Josh Johnson in P10. But again, looking at the time differences, Duncan Kirby only 8 thousandths of a second, William Chadwick only 700ths of a second, Ben Johnson about 1.5 tenths, Adam Southgate 2 tenths, Matthew Hodges 1.5 tenths, and then again in the 100ths and thousandths of seconds in between. So, Phil, can you give it another look again from the overall gap from the leader onwards?
Sure can. I'll get that on the screen for you. Just
Oh,
off phone.
there goes your beer.
I don't know what you're doing there, though. So, looking here, it was P10, which was within a second, and it now turned to P14. So, pretty much the same as we saw at Sanford, being P5 from P1 to 15, being within a second. So, it shows how close it is.
I don't think it's going to matter too much to Morgan, but he's just had to back out of his lap there. Someone just span in front of him. Couldn't really be helped, but yeah, I think he's going to be heading straight into the pits, which he is. Let's go back on board with someone who is still completing their lap. Matthew Dambreen.
Exactly, I just want to say, we see Matthew Dambreen having quite a good lap. Currently in P23. Coming up to the tricky last sector, the final chicane. Going a little bit too deep into that chicane though. And having a little bit of a moment coming out of it. So, we're gonna see. Was P? Yeah, and there he goes. P20.
It goes into P20. Find him. I think it's Ben Johnson. So the BMWs have now split up those top 3 McLarens.
Exactly.
It's good to see. And just wait a second, and then we'll get a screen for the race start.
I'm not quite sure what you mean, Frosty or Yuri, with the first points. But the points in the championship are from P1 to P20. So you're currently in P13, starting in P13, so some good points up for grabs. Just waiting for the results to pop up.
So while we're waiting for this, predictions?
Morgan Thompson for the win.
You're going for Morgan Thompson. Duncan Kirby could be pushing him quite close here. I mean, it's very close at the front there.
I'll give William Chadwick this one.
Okay. I actually just noticed that Duncan Kirby put in the exact same lap time as Morgan Thompson.
Well, not exactly. Still 8 thousandths of a second off. So there we have the standings for the start of the race. It's Morgan Thompson in P1, Duncan Kirby in P2, William Chadwick P3, Benjamin Johnson P4, Adam Southgate P5, Matthew Hutchison P6, Chris Needham P7, Dominic Furster P8, Dan Carpenter P9, Just Johnson in P10, Matt Acton P11, Karen Smart in P12. In P13 we've got Yuri Pepijn Evers. 14 we've got Miles Owens. 15 Daniel Merchant. P16 Kenneth Andreessen. P17 Dennis Meisner. P18 Gonzalo Perez. P19 Jason Headington. P20 Matthew Dambreen. P21 David Meekin. P22 Ollie Marler. P23 John Thressler. P24 Jess White. P25 it's Kieran Williams. P26 Jonas Gillis. P27 David Pedersen. And I'm not quite sure about Billy Fletcher. I reckon he's gonna start out of the pit, or
well, no, he would just start at the back. Start at the back. If you don't put a lap in, you just start at the back.
He'll start at the back. So in P28 it's Billy Fletcher. So that's it. That's how we're gonna start the race.
Who did you go for, Phil? William Chadwick?
I'm gonna go for Duncan Kirby.
I was William Chadwick.
Oh, you were.
Yeah.
That'd be Ben Johnson for the win then after those 3 spins.
Well, this is what's going to happen, isn't it? But Ben's going to have an absolute blistering round. Josh could have an absolute blistering round. He's still in P10 though, so bit of a gap. He's going to have to fight his way through a lot of comparable times, so to get there.
I reckon Josh wants to put in a blistering race though. Looking back at how round 3 and round 4 went for him, so it's the pace car driving away.
To get underway, it's a short parade lap, or a parade quarter lap. Newer circuits, you don't do the full lap as you would do on some of the older tracks that have been on iRacing for a while. We'll stick at the front. Waiting for that pace car to just tear off into the pits, which it's going to do now, and then it's going to be up to Morgan. to choose when he decides that he wants to go. It looks like he's gone. It's given him a little bit of a gap actually, and yeah, Duncan Kirby has managed to get the draft just behind his teammate. Looking nice and clean so far.
As the leaders are going through, Chris Needham has snuck up a place into 6th, with Dan Carpenter behind him gone up 2 places into 7th. Billy Fletcher's had a good start, he's already up to 24th when he started at the back of the grid. It appears everyone's still on track.
Yeah, it's looking good. So leading Morgan Thompson, followed by Duncan Kirby, William Chadwick. No changes from the qualifying positions. Yuri Pepe Neves has just moved into P13, I believe, overtaking Daniel Merchant. Beautiful going around that corner. Cones flying in the background there. Absolutely getting launched. It looked like it hit the crowd then, I think. Gonzalo Perez maybe just had a bit of an accident, slipping down the order. I think he got from what, P19 down to P25 there.
Gonzalo Perez is in the pit.
Straight to pits. That must have been a big crash. We'll take a look at that.
So, first lap complete with the leaders. Morgan Thompson currently leading ahead of Duncan Kirby from William Chadwick, Ben Johnson and Adam Southgate. So the top 5 have not changed any positions from their quali.
Yeah, William Chadwick's looking to get that move done on Duncan Kirby, who's just like dropped off Morgan Thompson slightly, so Morgan's going to get a bit of a free run here and just needs to concentrate, put his own lap times in, and then build up that gap, because if these two are going to be fighting for a while, they're going to be losing time, and then Ben Johnson could also profit from this as well. Maybe get himself onto a podium position.
Well, William Chadwick is really putting the pressure on, even went over the grass just a little bit. But looking at it, Duncan Kirby already 2 seconds behind Morgan Thompson.
Flames kicking out of the McLaren. Always good to see. The fire machine. Billy Fletcher moves up into P22, P21, sorry. Starting to climb up the order.
Could you put on the intervals between the drivers? Oh.
Yeah, so it looks like we may have lost Gonzalo Perez, and I'm looking at David Patterson as well, also saying out. So unfortunately, 2 drivers have succumbed to the first lap.
Yes, and I can tell you from what I see that it's Gonzalo Perez had a received throughput to an acceptable level, which means the internet connection. That's pretty unfortunate at the start of a race.
He just majorly outbraked himself there, and
Just tap it back as well.
just had another incident with Jez White as well. I'm not sure how severe this was. Like he's just losing the back end there, going into the corner. Not too severe. He's going to be able to turn around because I don't think he's got too many cars behind him there.
Meanwhile, I was going to say, sorry. Meanwhile, Morgan Thompson's already carved a over 1.5 second lead from Duncan Kirby. We're only on lap 3. Or sorry, 4. 3 complete. Duncan Kirby just going in the fastest lap, 1:44.95.
Yeah, he's slowly bringing that gap down, which is quite good to see. Behind Chris Needham, we see Dan Carpenter, Matthew Hodges, and Josh Johnson. A little bit of the sweaty cam from Chris Needham, driving with the VR.
Go back on board with this battle up front. It looks like Duncan Kirby's actually managed to build up a little bit of a gap there from William Chadwick. Definitely going to relieve some of the pressure, some of the sweat inside the VR headset.
And Billy Fletcher as well, fighting his way through the field, is now on the back of I think that's Kenneth Andreasen. Was on the outside. He makes the outside move there. Kenneth Andreasen still on the inside though. Oh, and he gets the move done. So nice move by Billy. Although on both of the BMWs we see some damage on the right front. So as we said in qualifying, maybe they've been jumping the curbs a little bit too much, and the question is, will that play an effect to the performance of the car?
Looks like Josh Johnson's going to go for a move on Matthew Hodges. He's going to get the inside line going up to turn 1. Sorry, just cut you off there, Ruben. Carry on.
No worries. I just was going to say, I'm wondering how much that will play an effect for the performance of the car. Maybe not that much. But we'll see. Nice move there though by Josh Johnson. Well called, Phil.
And Andreasen may have just had a little bit of an accident. Let's have a quick look. Going into turn 1, just loses the back end of the car and spins.
Ooh.
Doesn't hit anything, so...
Got some damage on the front though.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was from. Probably a...
Oh, that's what I've said. Billy Fletcher in the BMW seems to have the same damage. So I'm thinking it's just that BMW suffers more damage from riding the curves. As I don't have, or I not have seen any incidents so far with those drivers involving with other cars. So Dan Carpenter putting the pressure on Chris Needham. Well, in the meantime, Kieran Smart is putting the pressure on Matt Acton. Kieran Smart currently in P12.
Billy Fletcher just gets around Dennis Meisner there as well. So he's having some fun today. Got himself up to P16, currently up 12 places from starting from the back of the track. Chris Needham has just had an accident. What is going on here? We've got cars all over the show.
Oh dear.
Don't think it's that one. Let's go this one.
So let's see what happened there.
Went a little bit wide on the exit of that corner. I don't think people could then go around him, and then he's ended up in backwards into the pit lane. That's very unfortunate for Chris there. Oh, looks like Morgan's under some pressure at the front. We're going to have to go back to the front and have a look.
But all three of them then, just over half a second.
Yeah, that definitely makes it interesting. We've seen Forged putting in the chat as well. Morgan will be on fuel-saving mode, but with the Duncan Kirby and William Chadwick that close behind, I don't think you want to save too much fuel though. Duncan seems to be suffering the same right front damage.
It could be
See on the
curbs.
BMWs, so I really do think that it's the curbs that play an effect for the BMWs, not as much for the McLaren, the Ferrari, or either the Mercedes.
Ben Johnson isn't too far behind this little gaggle of cars. So he'll be just waiting to pounce if anything does happen between these guys in front.
Morgan having a very good last chicane chicane and last turn though, creating a little bit of a gap again. Just enough to get the pressure off for turn 1.
Quickly cut over here because it looks like Billy Fletcher's going to go for a move up the inside of Miles Owens into turn 1. Gets that move done thirdly, just being a little bit later on the... Oh, Miles I thought was going to come back at him.
Definitely looked like it.
Yeah, I think that position is now stuck for Billy.
While in front of him, you've got Yuri Papinevers, Daniel Merchant, Kieran Smart, Matthew Hodges, and Matt Acton. All for P7. A nice group of cars. There it looked like Yuri Papinevers had a little look on Daniel Merchant. Ducked in behind him though again. No position changes. Chris Needham fell back to...
Well, there's been a change. There has been a change of position at the front. Where has...
Ooh. Duncan Kirby.
Where has Duncan Kirby gone? He's slipped back into...
Must have made
P4.
a mistake. Yeah.
Didn't go off track.
Yeah, he lost the car on the right turn before the chicane. Just caught the...
He did
caught the
go
gravel.
off. Yeah.
Ooh.
But that
Good job he did
was
it.
made.
Yeah, good job he did it in a nice open area. Meanwhile, Billy Fletcher overtook Yuri Pepper Evers and is now hunting down Daniel Merchant to be in the top 10.
Yuri Papinevers, though, will be pleased that he's still running in a fairly nice position.
Yeah, hasn't had the best of luck all season.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's good to see that he's now running a decent position for him.
Billy Fletcher's going to do Daniel Merchant, I think, is he?
Around the outside there, I think it was as well.
Ooh, wow. And it seems like Yuri Papinevers is gonna go for the move as well. Although, I'm not quite sure if he has the speed though. It's they're making it 3 wide there before the hairpin. Ooh.
Oh, we've got a spin. We have a spin and some contact.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure what happened there though. It looked like he just lost it on his own, or oh well, just a little bit of a push.
There's a little tap there on the back quarter, wasn't there?
Just enough to
push him into the line of the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I must say, unfortunately, we've lost Dan Carpenter and John Tressiger. They are both out of this race. Oh, still got 24 cars going.
Points for the top 20.
Exactly. So currently out of the points are David Meekin, Jonas Gillis, Kenneth Andresen and Jess White. But David Meekin and Jonas Gillis are quite close to P20 Kieran Williams. So there's still something to fight for. Well, I do believe the sun is really setting now.
But this could start to go a little bit darker towards the end of the race. I don't think it's going to go completely dark though. The lights are on the cars though.
You can see that William Chadwick is a little bit more aggressive, trying to close the gap down on Morgan Thompson. And Benjamin Johnson is not far behind, and Duncan Kirby is on the back of Benjamin Johnson again, so he will try to get back that last podium position. While we see a move there from David Meekin on Kieran Williams, and he gets the move done. There you have it, David Meekin puts him in P20.
Adam Southgate as well, just lurking back there in P5. It's kind of what I like to do, just lurk and wait for mistakes in front, get into positions that way rather than having a fight.
Well, I mean, we've seen Duncan unfortunately making that mistake. It didn't cost him much, although he lost the 2 positions, but not more than that. But like I said, Duncan Kirby is definitely on the back of Benjamin Johnson. Both in the BMW, so you've got 2 McLarens in front and followed by 2 BMWs.
Billy Flesh is just overtaken Kieran Smart.
Replay of it. I'm very late on the brakes though into turn 1, just gets car like a full length, yeah, full car length ahead. That was a very nice braking maneuver there from Billy.
19 places he's up from, starting from the back.
Well done, Billy Fletcher, nice move. Now trying to hunt down Matthew Hodges. So Matt Acton and Matthew Hodges, both flat-out SimSport drivers, currently in P7 and P8, having a fairly good race to be honest. Just Johnson in P6. I think just started in P10, am I right?
Yep. Who, sorry?
Just Johnson.
Josh
so,
started.
Yeah, he started 10th. Yeah, he's up to 6th. So.
He is 5 seconds off Ellen though.
So Duncan Kirby's now approximately 3/10 behind Ben Johnson, trying to go back up, work his way back up into the podium spot.
Cheers, Ben, for the 4-month subscription. Mr. L Plate 3000.
Cheers for the sub there, Ben. Appreciate it, man.
I suspect the fuel window will start opening in the next couple of laps, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the fuel window, yeah, you're looking 20 plus minutes is when you can start pitting, I would say.
Well, we've got the first one in, I guess. Dennis Meister's currently into the pit.
And so is Chris Needham.
Yeah, Chris Needham as well. So maybe these two are taking a little bit of damage. They were just seeing it out until they could first have that opportunity to pit, to take that fast repair and get themselves kind of back
out
going again. I had to do a similar thing last night where I had to do 3-4 extra laps before I could pit because I took a bit of side pod damage. And yeah, it does. It's just something you have to suck up and just carry on, because otherwise you're gonna have to pit it twice, and you don't want to do that. So
no. Unless it's on drive ball. Oh.
Well.
And I think
both drivers.
Spin. I think that was David Meekin who lost it into turn 3.
Yeah, he hits the wall quite hard there as well.
Ow.
Can't stop rolling by. He's managed to get safely back onto the racing track though. Yep, it's going again. Let's go back up to this battle with Ben Johnson and Duncan Kirby. And obviously then we've still got the battle going on for P1 as well. William Chadwick still holding on, just 0.4 of a second just behind Morgan Thompson.
And I'm having a little bit of a closer look to the car of Duncan Kirby, and him having the damage on the front right. He also has the same damage on the right rear, so
That must be something to do with the car characteristics of this circuit then.
yeah. Although
Surely.
looking at Benjamin Johnson's car, he does have the same similar damage on the front right. He doesn't have the same damage on the right rear, so but it's yeah. We've said it before. It's weird that the BMW seem to suffer more on this track with the curbs than the other cars. In the meantime, it's another nice battle between Miles Owens and Daniel Merchant, two flat-out SimSport drivers. But William Chadwick really on the back of Morgan Thompson. Looking at the start of the race, it was about 22 track temperature, 22 degrees. It's only 21 now, so the...
Well, we've just had a crash from Duncan Kirby. What has happened there? Let's have a quick look. Sorry to cut you off again there, Ruben.
It doesn't matter at all, mate. Duncan is coming in the pit straight away. He just loses it on the entry of the street there.
Oh dear.
That looked like a team crash as well, so there's going to be words probably between the team drivers after the race on that one. Daniel Merchant just overtaken Adam Southgate, who just suffered a massive amount of bonnet front end damage there.
Yeah, Adam had a big moment, I guess, because the front and the rear of the car are pretty smashed.
So the Johnson brothers are now third and fourth in the Beamers.
Adam Southgate missed turn one, and he... Oh, yeah.
Well, Morgan actually went... Yeah, Morgan just went a little bit wide there.
And he jumped the sausage at between turn one and turn two.
Looks like a self-defense mechanism, the flames coming out of the back of that McLaren.
Just warning other drivers to stay back, otherwise I will burn you.
But in real life, with these type of temperatures, guys, like Max Verstappen said during the race at Silverstone and the race before, remember to stay hydrated. But William Chadwick, well, Morgan Thompson went a little bit deep into the hairpin there.
I think when Max Verstappen said that, he was more passing like a Heineken reference to to promote his national beer.
Well, maybe more his biggest sponsor, Jumbo. Big supermarket here in the Netherlands.
I thought that was the Albert Heijn.
Yeah.
No,
Bloody
well,
loads
yeah,
of them in Amsterdam.
You also got the Albert Heijn, but yeah, I think Jumbo now is one of the bigger ones.
Get the nice little dross
the same.
chocolates.
At least it's the same one as the sponsor for the Le Mans car and all, but that's something totally different than the race we have here between William Chadwick and Morgan Thompson. Well, I think that remark that Max Verstappen made Forge definitely has to do with William Chadwick. Doesn't want to drive like a grandma, putting the pressure full on Morgan Thompson. But I reckon we're gonna be close to their pit stops.
Yeah, these two guys are probably going to go the same amount of time. They're probably going to pit at the exact same, unless Morgan, or in fact, maybe William does decide to try and pit that lap early and see whether he can make the jump in the pits. It'd be interesting to see. Obviously both in the same car, so probably using around about the same fuel. Just depends on how heavy your right foot is.
So Matt Acton, one of the highest placed person to go in the pit, currently in 8th. Starting to slide down
there. Cheers, man. Oh, it's,
he didn't say what you were a pro in, though.
No, but it doesn't matter.
Sweating, probably.
Yeah. Well, at this moment,
being moist.
Well, let's keep it to the driving.
So William Chadwick again, less than 2 tenths behind Morgan.
Yeah. Matthew Dambreen, though, by the way, guys, don't forget Matthew Dambreen, currently in P11.
Up 10 places.
P10 even.
Yeah, up 10 places.
He hasn't the best season so far as well, so far so good. Having a good race.
Just need him going down on the inside there of, I believe it's Dennis Meisner. It is Dennis Meisner. Moves up into P17. Obviously had that earlier incident, so looking to just try and claw back a few places.
So whisper it quietly, but Billy Fletcher's gone up 23 places and is currently sitting in 5th.
Yeah, great race. About 4 seconds behind Josh Johnson, who on his turn is about 11 seconds behind Benjamin Johnson. It seems like Benjamin Johnson is coming into this battle as well now. Closing down gap on Morgan Thompson and William Chadwick. I do believe Chris Needham just overtook Dennis Meisner for P17. I think that's John Tressler, isn't it? Sin Sim Racing.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't blame you as well. So there we see Daniel Merchant coming into the pit.
Well, Chadwick is looking for the move, but Morgan's obviously going to stay very defensive going into the start of Sector 3.
It's more like he's sort of backing William Chadwick into Benjamin Johnson. If Benjamin Johnson can put a little bit of pressure on William Chadwick.
Have a quick look at the best times so far. Duncan Kirby, the fastest lap with a 1:44.945.
It won't give him anything though.
It won't give him anything because unfortunately, yeah, there's no...
And while we're talking about Duncan, I can tell you that race control just gave Duncan Kirby a black flag for dangerous driving causing a collision. So that's unfortunate for Duncan, but that means he has to come in for a drive-through. But I do agree with Liney, it's a very nice battle there for P1.
Take a view of it from Ben Johnson's car.
While Ben just went a little bit too wide into the left downhill hairpin.
Just himself 10th or 2. He's actually gaining again now. So I think the these two lead guys are actually starting to lose a little bit of time per lap, just based on the fact that they're kind of having a little bit of a battle, which is good to see, obviously, and it's probably good for Ben. But yeah, mighty close. I'm sure Morgan's going to be sweating. I'm sure William's going to be sweating as well. I think everyone's going to be sweating today. It's a bit of a sweaty one anyway. But this is just going to absolutely, increase the sweat, double the sweat.
Sweat fest.
Good evening, Ed. Good to see you here in the stream as well.
Oh, that's a dirty word. Lunge.
And they are still staying out though. So we're close to 30 minutes of racing and they're still driving.
They'll be running on fumes shortly. Just the top 8 left to go, and I say that Ben Johnson's gone in, and so has Josh. They're 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, and Adam is still in the pit, so I think Adam has
Oh,
quite
they're all
a...
coming in. They're all coming in. Right, so 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th are in. Interested to see if Billy Fletcher, he was 5th before he went in. See if he can get his place back.
Have a quick look to see where he is. We've got Ben Johnson just coming out of the pits now. So is that early pit stop, is that going to gain him any positions? Is he going to
Well,
overtake
he's back
Josh?
in 5th. He's back into 5th. As you were then. Actually lost time, hasn't he? I don't think he was over
Yeah, I
3
think he
seconds
has.
behind. He was around two and a bit seconds, wasn't he?
Have a look at the pit times. I mean, he was only a tenth. Actually, no, he was 4 tenths slower in the pit lane. Gained a little bit of time on Ben Johnson, but lost it to Josh Johnson. So that's why that gap has obviously started to creep. William Chadwick just holding on to the back of Morgan and just hoping that at some point he's going into the pits. They're both going into
They're
the
both
pits.
coming into the pits. So let's have a little look on Benjamin Johnson. Yeah, going off from all the earlier rounds where we've seen the people who pit the latest gain the most. Let's see what it does for them though. Benjamin Johnson is now coming up to the right-hander before the chicane.
William
Oh,
Chadwick's
William
gone ahead.
Chadwick jumped in position. William Chadwick jumped in position on Morgan Thompson in the pit, while Benjamin Johnson is on the straight as well. He definitely lost time to Morgan Thompson and William Chadwick though, but William Chadwick had a better pit stop than Morgan Thompson.
Wow, 1.5 seconds quicker in the pit.
Yeah, that is, I mean, yeah, there's a few litres of the fuel difference. That could be costly towards the end of the race, or it could actually win in the race. So you never know. It could be the smartest move he's done this season.
Assuming he has fueled enough to the end.
Well, now it's the other way around though. We still got about 30 minutes of racing to go, so Morgan now just needs to stay on the back of William Chadwick and see if he can go for an overtake. Of course, Morgan is leading the championship, so we don't want to take too much risk. Well, that definitely could be the case that he was fuel saving behind Morgan. I do agree on that one.
I don't think that is what Yokomo is talking about. I'm honest. That's Adam Southgate.
I don't know what Adam is talking about at all, to be honest.
I think that would be the previous incident with Duncan.
All right. Right.
Kieran Smart's looking for a move here on Matthew Hodges. Still battling out for P7 between the two. Kieran Smart obviously doing well. Let's have a look to see whether the driver's in the sweat box.
Cam. They don't look very moist to me.
Hard to tell. Strong beard gain there from Duncan. I thought he was giving us the thumbs up then. I was going to say that was quite instant.
Yeah. Need one of those golf hats with the old beer in, don't you?
I must say though, it looks like William Chadwick just has that little bit of advantage over Morgan Thompson. Oh, and there we see Duncan Kirby right in front of both of them. He just spun the car again on the left hairpin. Stayed stationary though, so it's a big shame though. Duncan Kirby qualified in P2. Had a good race for the first 10 to 15 minutes. Losing the back end.
I was going to say you don't want to drive down there because I think you end up in the pits. Going to be maybe taking that drive-through penalty right now. So still William Chadwick leading the way over Morgan Thompson with Ben Johnson in P3, Josh Johnson in P4 and Billy Fletcher currently in P5. Bit of a gap to Matt Acton in P6 and then Matthew Hodges P7 and Kieran Smart P8. And it is starting to get quite dark here. We just see Kieran Williams staying out of the way there, getting an unnecessary incident off track. Yeah, just...
It's good to go out of the way, but you don't need to go off track. Oh.
Dominic Forster's having a bit of a battle here. Quite close on to the back of Fury Evers, currently in P10. Highest position, I think. Yeah, highest position for Yuri all season. Take a look at championship. Currently actually has 0 points in the championship, so these will be his first points in round 5 if he manages to stick where he is, or at least stay in the top 20, which I'm sure he will.
Yeah, well, what he told himself in all the previous rounds, he had pretty decent qualifyings, but he seemed to struggle in races with the setup of the car or whatever it may be. So even if he loses the position, who had a little tail wiggle there, but even losing the position to Dominic Forster, I don't think it will feel too bad for him. Well, so far Dominic still behind Yuri. Matthew Danveen seems to close the gap to Jason Haddington as well, just a tiny bit. Currently in P14, so having a decent race himself. And yeah, I think Morgan Thompson is definitely losing a little bit of time behind William Chadwick. Don't think he's gonna push for the last lap overtake or anything like that. Although
yeah, Yuri
just 7 minutes ago.
Yuri just made a little bit of a mistake there. Touched the sausage curb on the exit, lost his drive out of the corner. This is probably going to give Dominic Forster position. I don't think it is actually. Yeah, that was a...
Dominic broke quite early into that first turn 1, and yeah, Yuri Papay-Nevers was on the outside, had a better racing line there, and stayed in front of Dominic. So the battle continues.
Quite a close battle, I think, as well, just behind these guys between Matthew Danbreen and Jason Haddington. That's a really good position from Jason Haddington as well, P13, so he's doing well in this race as well.
I do remember that they had a good race, wasn't it
last week,
where they finished with the 3 behind each other?
Almost
Jason
the whole team, yeah.
Chris Needham and Arnaud Channonier.
Whole team did well. Arnaud Channonier is missing this week, as family meal, I think.
Another person, by the way, who is upping up his game with the setup he's driving with. Getting a new base.
After a long discussion with me the other day, he has gone for the DD1, I believe.
Oh, yeah, he told me that you and him were talking already. Then he asked me about my opinion, and about 10 minutes later, he said, "I just pressed the button." So,
so he didn't value my opinion.
No, you just needed to check with the Dutch. But anyways, no, very nice, but unfortunately he couldn't be here. It's always nice to have one out in the league as well. But his teammates are doing quite well. Unfortunately, Chris Needham, of course, a little bit of a nightmare. But is currently in P15, so he's still in points-paying position. But yeah, I think the nice battle to watch at the moment is or either Matthew Dambreen and Jason Hennington or Dominic Forster and Juri Pepijn-Evers. Calling those two, it's Dominic still right on the back of Juri in the Audi. The one and only Audi, so trying to stay in front of that Ferrari from Vulcan Sim Racing. Going up from that onboard there that we saw there, though, it looks like the Ferrari is sliding a little bit.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
I think if things stay the way they are currently, I think Ben Johnson goes up into a third with Billy. No, sorry, Ben Johnson will go up into second with Billy staying in third, with Jelle Peter Hoogland going down a couple of places. Depends where Kieran Smart obviously finishes as well. If he can close that gap, he needs to score at least 6 points to overtake Jelle at the moment. I can't remember what 8th gives you. I think that gives you more than 6, doesn't it?
Yes. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think it's 25, 20, 18, 14, is it? Or
25, 22, 20, 18, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, etc. All the way down to 1.
Etc.
Etc. etc.
So what we're seeing so far from Dominic Forster and Matthew Dambreen. Oh, Dominic trying to go for the inside there in turn 3. Still has the inside for turn 4. Although Juri now gets across of him.
It's got mighty dark here in Catalonia. It got actually a bit darker than I was expecting it to go.
Right, it's only another 2 laps tops, or this lap plus another.
Maybe give it a nice little cockpit view, Phil. Let's see how the drivers are seeing it actually on track.
It's okay. It's not too dark.
No, it's definitely not too dark.
The sky is looking pretty nice.
It all come to the dark side. Oh, Juri nearly lost the banging of his car, and Dominic Forster just took the position from Juri Pepijn-Evers. So Dominic puts himself in P10.
Yeah, just made that little bit of mistake there. Let Dominic grab that position.
I think just try to overcorrect it a little bit. But there you see, putting the pressure on for long enough, force another driver into a mistake. But still, I don't think Juri will complain being in P11 at the moment. But the other nice battle between Jason Hennington for RWC Racing and Matthew Dambreen. I think Matthew Dambreen is privateer, if I'm correct, Phil?
No, Matthew Dambreen races for Flat Out Sim Sports. They've just not got a livery for.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Car, yeah. Morgan Thompson's just slipped to 2.1 seconds off the back of William Chadwick. So it looks like the battle for the lead has now gone.
Yeah, I think Morgan is just trying to consolidate those points for the championship. Of course, he's leading away.
Yeah, there's no point in doing anything stupid when once you're in that position. You may as well actually just take it.
Exactly.
But the irony being he'll still extend his lead anyway, regardless of the result,
yeah.
So points in the bag.
I believe that William missed the first round, maybe the first and second round. Yeah, he did. He missed the first 2 rounds. So, yeah, just out on a few points there.
Still a good race by William Chadwick, though. leading the way this time. Looking at Dominic Forster though, he's maybe even trying to gain one more position if we are gonna go that far though. Because he is right on the back of Miles Owens. P9.
I think these guys have still got one more lap.
Oh, Miles Owens is coming into the pit.
That could be a very late drive-through penalty, maybe. I don't have all the stats on the off tracks, but yeah, that could be a very late drive-through penalty.
And that's really unfortunate for Miles being in a good position, P9.
Let's just hope he drives all the way through and doesn't stop. Some drivers seem to mistake the drive-through as
stopped.
Stopped.
Yeah, Miles stopped in the pit. And he's coming out of the pit right now.
Go back on board with William Chadwick in a second because there's still a nice little battle going on between Matthew Dambreen and Jason Haddington as Jason Haddington goes very defensive there on the inside to keep the inside line for this corner. Chadwick just coming through the final three corners and across the line in P1 and take the win.
Morgan Thompson's lost 2 seconds on this lap. I assume he's just coasting over the line.
Yeah, maybe made a mistake somewhere.
Yep, he's over now. Yep.
So well done to William Chadwick for winning round 5 of the CXR Euro GT3 Championship at Catalonia. Morgan Thompson finishing in P2. There we got Benjamin Johnson finishing in P3. Then we've got, wait for it, Josh Johnson.
Billy Fletcher taking P5, up 23 spots as well. Great drive there by Billy. 2 Flower Sim Sports of Matt Acton and Matthew Hodges crossing the line in P6 and P7. Kieran Smart crossing gate.
A little bit of contact between Matthew Dambreen and Jason Haddington. And Matthew Dambreen actually gave the position
the place back. Yeah.
So well done, Matthew Dambreen. Fair play.
A race to the line there with Daniel Merchant for P10. Both crossing the line. So Yuri actually got the position there, P10. Daniel Merchant finishing in P11.
Well done to Yuri. Nice P10. Good race from Daniel as well. Jason Hampton and Matthew Dambreen. Well done. Finishing in P13. Chris Needham P14. Miles Owens in P15. Then we're waiting for Dennis Meister, who just finished in P16. And then we've got Ollie Marler, currently running in P17, coming through the last turn. Finishes the race. P18 is Kenneth Andreasen, and I think that's all the guys finished. We still got Duncan Kirby and Jess White in the pit.
I believe that is everyone across the line, so we can go to our results. Nope, that's not that one.
Ooh, blank one.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, that was it. I was going to
That's
say
weird.
this. Mr. Phil One Job McGoogle.
Right, so tonight's winner taking his first victory of the championship is William Chadwick for Vibe Sports Sim FX. Morgan Thompson started on pole, finishing second. Ben Johnson and Josh Johnson third and fourth. Billy Fletcher, fantastic drive, finishing in fifth. Mac Acton sixth. Matthew Hodges seventh. Kieran Smart eighth. Dominic Forster ninth. Yuri Pepin-Evers 10th, Daniel Merchant 11th, Jason Haddington 12th, Matthew Dambreen in 13th, Chris Needham 14th, Miles Owens 15th, Dennis Meisner in 16th, Ollie Marler 17th, Kenneth Andreasen 18th, Jonas Gillis 19th, Kieran Williams in 20th, David Meakin 21st, Duncan Kirby 22nd, Jez White 23rd, Andrew Southgate 24th, John Tressidaire 25th, Dan Carpenter 26th, Gonzalo Perez 27th, David Passon 28th.
Just something I want to know real quick. The guys that didn't score any points before this round, who were they and did they finish in the P20?
You're very quiet, Ruben. I didn't.
I'm sorry. I'll do it this way.
I got the gist of his question. So the people who haven't got any points before tonight's race was Sonny Palestra, Paul Clist, Yuri Pepper Evers, who I think scored, so he'll be off that section. Damien Shave, David Patterson, Kieran Williams, who scored tonight, I think, did he? And Jez White.
All right.
Yes, there we have it. Great race, actually. Yeah, there was quite a few battles. A good battle for the lead. Well done to William Chadwick. Jumped Morgan Thompson in the pits. He take his first victory of the season, I believe that is.
It is.
And he's Mr. Statsman. Oh yeah, only Billy Fletcher is taking the other win for the whole season. So
correct. And Morgan's taking the remainder. So yeah, on to next week then. So we are in Zolder, aren't we?
Yeah, Zolder for next week. I don't think we've raced at Zolder for a long time. We maybe did it in the touring car season. I'm maybe just pulling that one out the hat. Really, I'm not sure whether we did.
We definitely did. We definitely did. And
yeah,
in
we did
the
do
MX5 leagues, we also did Zolder.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one. Cheers to everyone for watching during this ridiculous heat wave that everybody is suffering at the moment. Cheers to Ruben and Mark as well, obviously, for commentating along with me, and Neil and Aaron in race control. Everyone,
cheers to you, Phil.
Yeah, cheers. Everyone can now go for a nice cold beer or whatever your tipple of choice is, and we will catch you next week, same time. Good one.
Have a good one.
Cheers. Night night.